Have you ever felt like something within you doesn't quite fit into this world, as if your soul carries a divine gift that has never fully blossomed? As if every time you're about to take a leap, about to grasp what you know is rightfully yours, an invisible force appears out of nowhere and snatches everything from your hands? It's not bad luck. It's not a coincidence. It's not a lack of effort on your part. It's a sign. And what I'm about to reveal to you now explains exactly why this has been happening to you, and why this feeling of theft, of spiritual sabotage, has intensified precisely now that you've begun to awaken. There is an executioner, an entity that knows your name, a force that was designated in the invisible realm for a single mission, to prevent your divine gift from manifesting, because your gift is a threat. And today, God will show you the face of this executioner. For the first time, you will understand who is on the other side of this battle you've been fighting for years without even knowing you were in one. Think carefully. How many times have you been close to something great, only for everything to inexplicably fall apart? How many times has an opportunity evaporated in your hands, a relationship that seemed right betrayed you, a door that was open slammed shut the exact second you were about to walk through it? You blamed yourself. You thought it was a lack of deserving, a lack of faith, a lack of preparation. But what if I told you that none of this was about you being incapable? What if all of this was proof that something is actively working in the shadows to ensure you never discover the true extent of the power you carry within you? God's chosen ones are born marked. And what is marked the enemy sees from afar. Have you noticed that mediocre people, people who have never sought anything beyond the superficial, seem to live in peace, without major turbulence? That's not a blessing. It's spiritual indifference. The executioner doesn't waste time on those who pose no danger. He concentrates all his force on those who have the potential to awaken and draw thousands with them. If your life has been a battlefield, celebrate in silence. This means you are too important to be ignored. But the executioner is cunning. He doesn't act openly. He hides behind your self-sabotage, behind that thought that whispers, "You are not capable," at the exact moment you are about to act. He hides behind the supernatural fatigue that overtakes you when you decide to pray, study, evolve. He hides behind the mental fog that clouds your clarity just when you most need to make a decision. Each of these tactics has one purpose: to keep you asleep, small, distant from the divine gift that would make a difference not only in your life, but in the lives of everyone around you. And here is the first layer of truth that few perceive. What you call the problem of your life, the persistent scarcity, the relationship that never works out, the unexplained illness, the creative block that paralyzes you, is not the real problem. It is merely the visible layer of a much deeper game. It is the shadow projected on the wall. The executioner is behind the wall, moving the pieces, and you have spent your whole life fighting with the shadow, without ever seeing the hand that projects it. That's why I wrote this ebook, The Chosen One's Guide to Protecting the Family. This book is not just reading, it is the map that reveals the face of the executioner who has been stealing your divine gift for years. It shows who is playing against your manifestation, what the rules of this invisible battle are that you were never told about, and what entities from other dimensions have already revealed about the exact method this enemy uses to sabotage the chosen ones before they fully awaken. This book was created for those who have personally felt the theft of their own destiny, for those who are tired of fighting shadows and are ready to confront the hand behind them, going far beyond the superficial answers the world offers. The link is in the first comment pinned at the top. But I need to warn you, this type of content rarely remains available for long. What is on these pages exposes the executioner, and nothing bothers an entity more than being revealed. There have been attempts to silence this knowledge before, precisely because it pulls the enemy out of the invisibility where he feels safe. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you didn't arrive at this video by accident. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." And now that you have decided to act, the next truth will give you the name of one of the masks this executioner uses most often. Pay attention, because this is the oldest form of divine gift theft that exists. The executioner steals your divine gift first through memory. He doesn't need to destroy your future if he can trap you in the past. That's why, every time you try to move forward, that memory of failure, that old humiliation, that voice of someone who said you would amount to nothing, comes flooding back. These memories don't return by chance. They are reactivated. They are like anchors that the enemy casts into the depths of your soul, so that, the instant you swim towards the surface of your mission, the weight pulls you back down. You find yourself repeating the same cycles, returning to the same places, attracting the same people, and you wonder why you can't break free. The answer is that there is a deeply embedded anchor, and it has an operator. The second mask of the executioner is identity confusion. He makes you forget who you are. A chosen one who knows who they are becomes unstoppable, so the most efficient strategy is to erase that awareness. That's why you spend years trying to fit into molds that aren't yours, pursuing dreams planted by others, living a life that feels like someone else's. That feeling of living on autopilot, of not recognizing yourself in the mirror, of sensing that a much greater version of you is locked away somewhere, that is the symptom of identity theft. The executioner knows that if you remember who you are, the game is over for him. The third mask, and perhaps the cruelest, is isolation. The enemy pushes you away from people who could strengthen you and draws near those who drain your energy. He creates misunderstandings where there were none. He plants pride where there should be reconciliation. He makes you believe that no one understands your journey, that you are alone in this, that it's better to close yourself off. And when the chosen one isolates themselves, they become exposed. A lone wolf is easy prey. The executioner knows this better than anyone, which is why isolation is his favorite tool against those who shine brightest. But there comes a moment in every chosen one's life when the blindfold falls, a moment when God allows the face of the executioner to be revealed, and this moment almost always arrives after a season of intense suffering. Because it is in extreme pain that the soul finally stops believing superficial lies and begins to search for the root. Perhaps that is why you are watching this now. Perhaps you are exactly at that point where the pain has grown tired of being endured and has begun to turn into a question. And the right question is the key to everything. Who is behind this? When you ask that question with sincerity, something changes in the invisible realm. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The entities that operated comfortably in the darkness begin to stir because the light of consciousness is unbearable for them. You will start to notice signs. You will begin to see patterns that were once invisible. You will realize that certain coincidences were operations. And it is at that exact instant that the real battle begins. Not the battle you fought blindly, but the conscious battle, where you finally know who you are fighting against and with what weapons. It was with this turning point in mind that I organized every page of The Chosen One's Guide to Protecting the Family ebook. Because it's one thing to recognize that an executioner exists. It's another, completely different, to know how to expose his face and cut off the source of the theft. The ebook teaches step by step how to identify which mask the enemy is using against you at this moment in your life. Whether it's the anchor of memory, identity confusion, or isolation, and reveals the exact spiritual protocol to reverse each of them and protect not only you but your entire family, who are often affected as collateral damage in this war. This book was created for those who have awakened enough to stop fighting shadows and are ready to confront the hand that projects them. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, and I repeat the warning because it is serious. This knowledge is unsettling. What is on these pages challenges the narratives that keep the chosen ones asleep and ignorant of their own power. And there have been those who tried to silence this type of revelation before, because a chosen one who sees the executioner ceases to be prey and becomes a hunter. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, because you didn't get here by chance. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." And now that you have made this commitment, the next truth will deliver the most important blow against this oppression, because I haven't yet told you the detail that bothers the executioner the most of all. The executioner has a weakness, and it is precisely what he works hardest to hide from you. His weakness is your declared purpose. As long as your divine gift remains dormant, undefined, kept within you as a vague promise, the executioner has complete freedom of action. But the instant you declare, aloud with an open heart without fear, what your mission in this world is, you create a spiritual barrier that he cannot cross. The declaration is a weapon. The named purpose is a shield. That's why the enemy invests so much in your confusion, in your fear of taking a stand, in your eternal feeling that it's not the right time yet. The time never comes precisely because he works to ensure it never does. Think of all the times you had an impulse to do something great, to embrace a calling, to take a step of faith, and immediately after came a wave of rationalization. That's crazy. It's not practical. People will laugh at you. You're not ready. This wave has an origin. It doesn't come from you. It is injected. The executioner is an expert at transforming divine calling into human shame, at transforming courage into anxiety, at transforming "I will" into "maybe someday." And every postponement is a victory for him and a silent defeat for your divine gift. Now understand the true dimension of this. Your divine gift was never just about you. The chosen one receives a gift because there is a number of people destined to be reached by it. When the executioner steals your divine gift, he is not just stealing your personal success. He is stealing the healing, the liberation, the awakening of all those people who depended on you fulfilling your role. That is why this battle is so fierce. You are not just any piece on the board. You are a central piece. And a central piece, when moved correctly, changes the entire game. The executioner knows your importance better than you do. It's time for you to know it too. The revelation of the executioner's face, then, is not an end in itself. It is the beginning of reconquest. Seeing the enemy is the first step. The second is to understand that you were never the fragile victim in this story. You are the agent he fears. All the energy he spent trying to diminish you is, in fact, the greatest proof of how much he respects you as a threat. Flip that switch within you right now. Every attack you suffered was a recognition. Every closed door was a detour he had to make because he couldn't confront you directly. Every night of anguish was a testament that there is something within you too great to be ignored. And when you adopt this new stance, the entire invisible realm reorganizes itself. The same signs that once indicated theft now become signs of protection. The same sensitivity that made you suffer from everything now becomes your radar against traps. The divine gift that was being drained begins to be sealed, protected, shielded. And then the theft ceases. Not because the executioner gave up, but because you finally closed the doors through which he was entering. It is precisely this closing of doors, this sealing of the divine gift, this shielding of the entire family that constitutes the heart of the Chosen One's Guide to Protecting the Family ebook. Because there's no point in seeing the executioner and continuing to leave the same openings. The ebook provides the complete sealing protocol, how to identify where the enemy has been entering your life, how to definitively cut off the channels of theft of your divine gift, and how to erect a spiritual protection around your home and family that the executioner cannot break. It reveals the rules of this war that you were never taught, based on what chosen ones of all generations have discovered, and what entities from other dimensions have let slip about the exact moment we are living in. This book was made for those who have seen too much to go back to living in ignorance, for those who have understood that reality is much deeper than they are taught and are ready to take back what is theirs by divine right. The link is in the first comment, pinned at the top. And for the last time I warn you, don't trust that it will be there tomorrow. This material directly challenges the forces that profit from the slumber of the chosen ones, and there has been more than one attempt to remove this knowledge from circulation, because a shielded chosen one is an irreparable loss for the executioner. Don't wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, chosen one, because you didn't reach the end of this video by accident. You were led. Download it now and comment, "I am chosen and I will download the ebook." So look at everything you've experienced with new eyes from today onward. That child who suffered without understanding why, that young person who felt different from everyone else, that adult who saw dreams stolen one by one. None of that was in vain, and none of that was about you being small. It was about you being too great to go unnoticed in the invisible realm. The executioner pursued you because he saw in you what you yourself took so long to see. And now that his face has been revealed, Now that you know the name of the game and your central role in it, the persecution loses its power. The hunted becomes the hunter, the prey becomes the guardian, the chosen one awakens. This awakening began today with this video, but it will only be sustained if you take the next step and shield what you have gained. The divine gift that God placed in you is eternal, but the doors need to be closed by your own hands. Do your part, declare who you are, protect your family, and never again surrender to the executioner what belongs to the kingdom. I am chosen, and so are you. Now act like one.